bring them and to tell him to be united. This is the problem. Thank you.
Graham, I'll ask you the next one here from Major Anwar Abdul Hamid. He's an ex-Service Association of Malaysia. He says the Freedom Flotilla ships are not escorted by any naval ship. What are the possibilities of engaging naval escort ship from Turkey? And I understand our ambassador is here, from Turkey, Iran, or any countries that support this cause. What are the legal implications on using naval ships to escort this humanitarian aid effort?
Well, we've always claimed we are unarmed, peaceful activists. So I think that if you do bring a naval escort, then you're escalating the whole situation. So personally, I don't think it's a good idea, because then you're taking the focus off Gaza, and then all of a sudden you're putting the focus on the Navy that's escorting you plus the Israeli Navy. And I think I would just like to say we're unarmed activists, and I don't think we're going to bring navies with us, and I don't think any navy will come with us anyway.
Thank you. I'll get back to you, Ridwan. There's a question. Do you think, this is a question from Shafi from International Islamic University, Malaysia. Do you think this humanitarian crisis can be solved militarily if the Arab states get united? What role can Muslim countries with strong military play in this scenario?
I think to break the siege we need steps. The first steps from the Arab leaders to be united, then to have a political stance for this issue. Yes, again, I forget my question because it is.
The question was about
about
whether
the Arab
we can
leaders.
solve
Yes,
it militarily.
Arab leaders, the siege, breaking the siege needs steps to be to break this unjust siege. We need Arab Islamic united. We need statements. We need criminalizing for this bad actions. We need persecuting and follow for the Israeli leaders for this unjust siege and for killing more than 300 citizens because of preventing them to go outside to have treatment. So I think that the united could be the step or the best step to break this unjust siege.
We're running out of time. I need guidance from the organizers on this. It's already 3:01 p.m. Perhaps I could just address one more question here to Derek here. With all the facts very clear in front of the world that show Israel is committing war crimes, why are people not reacting enough to punish Israel for their activities? This question comes from Muhammad Masoodur Rahman Abir, again from our International Islamic University. Why is Israel enjoying immunity?
They are at the moment enjoying immunity, but I think that the pressure is coming on worldwide to actually do some action against Israel, because up to this flotilla there was very little in the media and very few people actually knew the true story of what was happening in Gaza. And I think it's up to the likes of us to actually keep the story in the media, and if we do keep it in the media, then politicians do have to act, because they know that what is happening is wrong. And I think we may see steps in the future, but it is a long road. This is not going to be a quick solution. It's a long road, and I think we will get there. Just a quick point on your last question. I think, now this is my own personal opinion, but I think that if all the Arab nations actually did join together, you would see that there would be one of the strongest forces in the world. They control 90% of the oil. on the first day that that war started in Gaza, if every Arab nation turned around and says, we're turning off the taps until you stop bombing, the bombing would have stopped 12 hours later. So I think, yes, I think if the Arab nations do unite, you will see that there will be a massive change, because Israel work on one policy: divide and conquer. So unite, just remember, united you stand, divided you fall.
Yes, I think, Derek, that is entirely true. In 1967, there was some sort of action on the part of the Arab countries, and I think that did elicit positive responses from the United States. I still need to refer to the organizers here. Are we allowed to proceed, or should we stop for the next session? Can continue. We can continue. Okay. Thank you. That's a privilege. Well, there are plenty of questions. Here again, I think I would ask Radwan, though you have partly answered this question before. There is a question from Azaidi. Why have the Arab neighbors, Egypt, UAE, Saudi Arabia, abandoned the Palestinian cause?
Inshallah, they didn't do that. Our need from the Arab leaders is to begin applying their decision in the Arab League. From the beginning of the siege, every meetings with the Arab League, the first decision is the siege will be stopped. So our need from the Arab leaders to begin applying their decisions about the siege and about the Palestinian cause, Al-Quds and prisoners, all the Palestinian issues.
We have a suggestion here about the video being downloaded in PGPO website so that we can share this with the world. So this is to the organizers. Could you kindly do this? So I won't take this as a question. The video clips, this is from Joe. The video clips show the old lady who lost everything. Would it not be that she has nothing to live for? And would this not breed terrorism? Derek, could you take that? In other words, they have no choice.
It is true. What you said is true. You keep pushing somebody into a corner and they will fight back. Eventually they will fight back. But unfortunately, that's what Israel want them to do. Israel wants these people to fight back. It gives them an excuse then to go in and bomb more and kill more people, because they say that they are under threat. You were talking about, you hear about all these rockets that's been fired from Gaza. If you listen to the news very carefully, you will know the situation on the ground. When you hear the words like rockets fired out of Hamas-held Gaza, then you know that it wasn't Hamas that fired the rockets. If you hear them saying there was a rocket attack or there was a rocket strike on Israel, then yes, that was a successful rocket into Israel. But you will rarely hear that, because a huge amount of these rockets are handmade. They go everywhere except where they're supposed to go. They're not weapons. And for the Palestinians to fire a rocket that would normally make maybe a hole which is 55 centimeters in the side of a building, what happens? The Israelis come back and they drop a 500-pound bomb that knocks a 5-story building. So there's no comparison. But the Israelis are trying to push the Palestinians into a corner to make them fight, so that then they can come in and be barbaric and just kill before and behind them and claim that it's self-defense.
Thank you. I apologize, we're running out of time, but perhaps one very quick question. How do you see Hamas and Fatah working together? Is there any possibility?
Hamas and Fatah are brothers, so they have to be united. We do believe that when they will be united, they will be strong, as my brother said before.